Dear friends, I am Kamala Manohar Swamy. I am emotional intelligence expert and social activist from Concept of Living Charitable Trust, Ahmedabad. I want to share with you certain thoughts about a very, very important problem today our children are facing across the country, if not the globe. So I would like to seek your permission to go ahead with my sharing. So I think all of us are, interested in adding value to the life of the children, and as part of that, I think we need to understand the essential part of emotional intelligence in the children. And I can suggest that this is a kind of training program. It could be called as trainers training program or even orientation on emotional intelligence for the people who want to work with the children, empowerment. So let us try to understand and also to understand various ways of empowering children when it comes to emotional intelligence. And you may be surprised to know what is emotional intelligence. So now we need to understand, the psychological well-being of the children, and also the support that we as a society can render to the children to make them a complete children. So now when we say emotional intelligence, we think that we should focus on self-awareness of the children, emotional regulation among the children, and also the quality of empathy is very important, and ability to communicate is very important, and also the emotional resilience. And children face variety of things in life, but they must have the resilience to come out of that and start normal living. And also relationship management. As you know, relationships are very, very vital at every level, from the birth to till the end of life. We need to enter into variety of relationships. So all those things come under emotional intelligence, and all of them may not have equal level of intelligence, but they can be developed. And for example, today we are in digital area. This is a digital revolution is happening all over the world, and we cannot escape that. But as a practice, we can moderate it so that our children will have excellent social well-being. So now there are many studies conducted in terms of the emotional pressure that children are undergoing and mental health issues that children are facing. And according to one study, 81% of students are reported to be having anxiety, and children, about 43%, experience mood swings, suddenly mood changes, and even 63% of the children are experiencing stress. Can you imagine? They are not into a job, but still they are experiencing the stress. And about 54% of our children are experiencing loneliness, which is a curse. And 1 in 7 children are globally suffer from mental challenges. So these are the various issues our children are negotiating. So I think it is a challenge for all of us to understand how they are impacting the behavior of the children. For example, 65% of children can't express openly what is happening to them. And, there are anger, tantrums they express, and because they don't know what to do at certain times, and they withdraw, live in isolation, they remain in silence for any number of days, and they're also when they attain the teenage, they are totally misunderstood. 59% of children are misunderstood. So if you take it, the impact of the behavior is very, very, disheartening. I think we should all try to understand the impact of emotional intelligence that is there on the children, and try to find ways and means to help them to overcome that. And for example, in this emotional intelligence situation, all of us have got our own important roles to play. For example, parents are there, teachers are there, and our immediate society members are there. And for example, when it comes to parents, what are they interested in? We are interested in children getting good marks in their education. We don't want children to be getting less than 100%. How is it possible? What kind of stress do they undergo? Have we ever imagined? We have not. So the parents are interested in that academic success, and they don't devote time to engage themselves in the conversation with the children when it comes to emotional intelligence. And interestingly, 70% of the school staff and teachers, they don't think it is important for them to have the training in emotional intelligence. So I think what is important is that, as per the experts, of course, you need to have the abilities to teach, but at the same time, understand the behavior of the children at various stages, at various levels, in various situations, so that you can fine-tune your approach, you can fine-tune your methodology to deal with the children, so that you give them emotionally balanced life. So I think they need safer, healthier societies, environments where they can flourish like flowers, they can blossom like flowers. So I think all of us have got a major responsibility to understand what is this emotional intelligence. All of us talk about it, and we as emotional intelligence experts and social activists, we are advocating, we are taking ambassadorship, we are trying to reach out to large enough communities, teachers and policy makers across the country to give that positive environment for children to grow well in a healthy environment. Now, let us look at some of the definitions for the sake of understanding of what is emotional intelligence. See, it is ability to understand, number one, and also express, manage emotions effectively. We get a lot of emotions, like it could be anger, it could be tantrums, loneliness, or total silence. So all those emotions, why are they existing in children? What is the impact of those emotions? And how do we deal with them? What are the scientific ways of dealing with them? So that is very important. First of all, understand them and try to express them, and also to manage them, emotions, effectively, I think, among the children. That we need to encourage. Now, what happens with that? We are creating healthy society, safe society, and socially appropriate behavior among the children by doing that. Now, if you look at when children are emotionally intelligent and they are very strong, their communication capacities are very high, and their empathy is very, very good, and also their relationships with others is very, very healthy and positive. If emotional intelligence is imbalanced, then their communication gets affected, empathy won't be there, and also they will not be able to relate well with anybody that they come across. So, in our understanding, I think if we can enable children to acquire that equilibrium, what I call is balanced situations of emotions, that they are the best communicators, they are best people who can relate with the people, and they can have enormous amount of empathy towards the parents, teachers, and family members and the society at large. Now, for this purpose, government has come out with various programs, various schemes, and various initiatives. It could be Women and Child Development Ministry, Health Ministry, Sports Ministry. You take any ministry that is dealing with children are interested in providing that kind of support. More so, Women and Child Development Ministry, Government of India. For example, our society concept of living charitable trust is one of the pioneering institutions which has been recognized and entrusted with the responsibility of running this movement of empowering children emotionally. So I am glad that all of you are in the right place to understand the need of the great problem that we are encountering, and also solutions are being worked out at the national level on behalf of the ministry and also NGOs like concept of living charitable trust. So now I would like to just tell that I don't want to. So I am talking about various issues that children undergo in emotional intelligence. For example, it could be reactions, impulsive reactions, or it could be tantrums, or it could be outbursts, and also expressing sometimes becomes difficult for them. So all these things I think we need to address and try to help them. And let us also simply understand why children behave sometimes, or if not differently or misbehave, is because of the emotional neglect. Who has the time today, you tell me? Parents don't have time. They have to make money and they don't have time for children. And fear, because of the social upbringing and social customs and systems in the families sometimes create fear. And attention. They need attention. They try to get a lot of attention from the adults, but we don't pay that attention to them. And a lot of academic pressure is very, very, killing for the children. And feeling of unheard. अरे मेरे कोई सुनता नहीं है यार, मैं क्या करूँ? This is the kind of feeling children entertain. And loneliness. क्योंकि आप अपना, everybody goes into their own business, and nobody has time for children to sit with them, to listen to them, to talk to them, to enjoy their presence. We don't have time. That's the reason why they feel so lonely. And sometimes discipline, over control, and comparisons बहुत होते हैं. ये बच्चा वो ऐसा कर रहे, आप नहीं कर रहे, वो ऐसा है, तुम ऐसा नहीं हो. तो ऐसा उनको हम बहुत नाराज करते हैं. So we disappoint them, by a lot of comparisons. We create a lot of worry in them and confusion in them. So now, you know very well how majority of Indian parents try to discipline children and bring them up. For example, they say, "Don't cry," and boys should not cry. And we are always worried about what others would say. अपना लोग क्या कहेंगे? And we also say, good children don't argue, don't question. So girls are expected to be very quiet. They are not supposed to talk as freely as boys. So, I would like to tell you one thing. Our famous philosopher, J.D. Krishnamurti, who says, if you allow a person to question, he will emotionally, psychologically, intellectually grow enormously well. So why don't you allow them to question and try to answer them wherever you find time, wherever you think, though they are asking crazy questions, let us try to attend to them. And what happens? Because of the parents and others, neighbors, They always think that, ये करे तो शर्म आएगा, वो करे तो आपको डर लगेगा, and emotions को ज़्यादा express नहीं करने का है, and always try to please people. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है. Every time you can't do that, so you need to realize that importance of allowing children to say what they want to say in a respectable manner, but don't suppress them. And for example, in our homes all over the country, you must have seen boys have different set of guidelines to behave, and girls have different set of guidelines to behave. But why? Boys have to have emotions. They are not as supposed to express, and girls are supposed to be very silent, and they have to seek approval whatever they do. आप तो जानते हैं बचपन में माँ बाप की होती हैं, बड़े होने के बाद हस्बैंड की होती हैं, और शादी के बाद बच्चों की होती हैं. And where does she get the freedom? So that's the reason why all these things are, what should I say, internalized when they are very vague. So these things are, taking them to emotional disconnection. और हर रिलेशनशिप में प्रॉब्लम आने की संभावना है, and lot of anxiety all the time. क्या होने वाला है, क्या होने वाला है, what am I right, am I not right? So things like that. बहुत ही कभी कभी गुस्सा होने की संभावना रहती है. So now greatest problem in children you come across is trauma. That because of sudden things happening like criticism, you make a lot of criticism, emotional neglect, they don't bother, and the children in our country sometimes they're born and then they're left for themselves, even in families also. There are no problems, we don't want to explain them because they are on the road, so they are emotionally highly disturbed anyway. So humiliation, comparison, and affection, जो उम्र में उनको प्रेम मिलना है वो प्रेम नहीं मिलता है. और every home has got its own style of making their homes. In some homes all the time a lot of fight goes on in the families, husband and wife, and then parents and grandparents. So वो toxic environment देखते देखते बच्चे, they form their own opinions about the relationships. They undergo a lot of silence. They undergo a lot of disturbance internally, which they can't express. They don't want all that to happen. They always say that, please don't do that, but do they have the opportunity to control? They never. So that leads to a lot of imbalance, and sometimes they also get trained to behave in a violent manner, and we are sowing the seeds for their misbehavior, knowingly or unknowingly. So this creates a lot of emotional imbalance. So let us be aware of the fact that our behavior impacts our children, okay? And we are ruining the life of the children with our own thoughtless behaviors as elders. So, many children, they have some negative experiences and positive experiences as child. So it is our responsibility to create positive experiences so that they carry positive way of thinking. Similarly, the management of anger is very important in the families. Speaking louder and not listening to people and not being attentive. So those things I think we need to slowly cultivate to be different, like express empathy, active listening, positive communication and understanding the meaning of their behavior, non-verbal behavior, is very important. Okay. Now, if you look at what are the dangers if we don't pay attention to children's emotional well-being or mental health, what we call, they become lonely. There's no need to explain about that, and a lot of anxiety they undergo, just disturb their health. They become aggressive, and they remain in isolation, and they don't have concentration on anything to do, and they have a lot of health issues also. Some people even don't sleep properly, and they keep away themselves from certain relationships, which is very, very dangerous. हम कहते हैं they should be close to people, grandparents and parents, but if you create fear in them, anxiety in them, a distance in them, how do they be close to you? They cannot. So that's how we need to understand. And all put together, what is happening is they gain low self-esteem. मैं किसी काम का नहीं हूँ, मैं कुछ नहीं हूँ. So that low image of a person eventually makes them very passive and very, very ineffective in their actions and behaviors. So that part of the exercise, I think we need to really take care and help them to come out of all these, negative things which happen in the absence of emotional intelligence. Okay. Now, you know very well what kind of behaviors they express when they are emotionally disturbed. So those behaviors you cannot overlook. And every behavior has got a motive, every behavior has got a message to give us. And let us be very sensitive to them and give attention to each those of behaviors and try to correct them wherever it is really important, but in a very, very subtle manner, in a decent manner, in a dignified manner, in a very motivating manner, so that they can realize the importance of correcting themselves. Okay? Now, let me come to a very important thing that to understand the emotional strength or a need, you can call, what do the children require? Every child needs safety, isn't it? At home, at school, and in the society at large. अगर सेफ्टी नहीं होता है तो बच्चों की क्या होगा? And today, if you look at the social media, which is spreading all negativity around, do you think they have the safety environment? Definitely not. Human trafficking, rapes, dowry deaths, murders, and husband beating wife, and being very harsh in relationships, very, very aggressive in relationships. All these are really creating insecurity feeling, unsafe feeling among the children. So let us take care of that. Second thing is that, healthy boundaries. In every relationship, there should be healthy boundaries so that children can know what to do, what not to do. So that is a very tactical job that teachers and elders have to do it. And all the time encouragement and appreciation, give them positive strokes. बहुत अच्छा किया बेटा, you got wonderful marks. Okay, this time you got less, doesn't matter. Let us have a treat for not getting more, but hoping for the best next time. So that encouragement helps them. And listen to them without any judgments. Let them speak what they want to speak. Sometimes they may speaking little crazy things. It may appear to be senseless, doesn't matter, because their experience is limited, exposure is limited, education is limited, their mental exercise capacity is limited. So let us listen to them with empathy, all this humility, so that they can understand. Okay, so they should feel safe when they are with you or in the family or outside. Now, in this entire emotional intelligence empowerment, I call it as EIE, emotional intelligence empowerment. I think what is important, parents have to play a big role. There's no doubt about it. Because home is the first university for the children to learn. And wherever there is a healthy upbringing by parents, I think children do superb and extremely well. School is again a supplementary support, but not the main support. Parents are the main support. So what is important is that if you want to understand the role of the parents, you don't have to think twice. It comes to us very, very easily. One is listen to them calmly. Pehle to suno, okay? Then you have to regulate your own emotions. What to express, what not to express. Discreetly, you can do certain things, and openly you can do certain things, and you may not do certain things. So that balancing has to be done by the parents. And similarly, one important dangerous thing, according to me and also our emotional experts, that don't compare children with others. Every child is unique. Because, in a family, for example, there are two children. They need not be the same because of the genes, because of the constitution, because of the mental framework. They could be different. So we should take them as they are. We should consider them as they are. That is the skill of the parents. Now, discipline is essential, no doubt about it. But it should be respectable discipline, dignified discipline, need-based discipline, and highly supportive discipline, awakening discipline. So that is very important. हम लोग कहते हैं अरे बच्चों को मिलिट्री ट्रेनिंग दे रहे यार. What does it mean? That means sometimes, I do not know exactly, but that may not be correct comparison. Your parents are ruthless. Parents are irrational in training the children. So that situation should not arise. And in my opinion, what is important is that जैसे गांधी जी ने कहा, मेरा जीवन मेरा संदेश, माई लाइफ इज़ माई मैसेज. अगर मैं ठीक से मैं खुद संभालता हूँ तो मैं दूसरे को भी सही ढंग से संभाल सकता हूँ. ज़्यादा बोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. योर ओन एक्सप्रेशंस, योर ओन बिहेवियर, योर ओन कंडक्ट, योर ओन लाइफ स्टाइल, योर ओन expression of feelings, and your own intelligence, emotional intelligence, would be the role model for children to emulate. So I think ball is in the court of parents, ball is in the court of teachers, ball is in the court of neighbors, ball is in the court of larger society to provide role model behavior, emotional intelligence for children. So it may look little hard to appreciate and understand by all our elderly people, but it is a given reality. Is the truth. It is a bitter truth that we need to be aware of. Now, if you look at the teachers, for example, what should they do? their job is to build confidence. बेटा आप हमेशा अच्छा कर सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. For example, recently I came across a few students in Hangal village in Karnataka in Davanagere district, where 1,000 students are assembled and they wanted to felicitate the teachers. One of the students have presented a Maruti Suzuki car, a steam car, to the teacher, saying that he did not have parents when he was young, but teacher himself has played the role of not only teacher but also as a parent. Today he is a postgraduate working in a software company, an MNC company, and he took initiative to mobilize all the students of that old school and presented not only the precious gift of the car to the teacher, but also shared emotional bonding with the teacher, the contribution they have made for their well-being. I think incredible gesture on the part of the students, and more importantly, the magnanimous behavior the teacher could exhibit among the students when they were children in the school where he was teaching. So like that, this thing, and every step the teacher takes should enhance the self-esteem of the children. Yeah, you have done like this today, but you can think of doing it better tomorrow. So it will definitely give you better results. Don't get disheartened. Don't get discouraged. We are with you. You come, we will support you. So that positive approach will always build high level of self-esteem. So now schools in general, they should give opportunity to express. Of course, in our education system, you go on depositing knowledge in the children, but at the same time, because of the social media, digital era, children are, of course, more acquainted with the knowledge that is available in the digital platform. But by nature now, students are really intelligent and they know many things, and we should try to allow them to express. Let them question. If we don't know the answer as teachers in this class, we can tell them that your question is very, very appropriate and it's a very intelligent question, and I will give you total narration, detailed narration, if you give me some time by tomorrow. Nothing wrong. So we don't have to know everything under the sun. We do have a limitation. At the same time, honestly admitting that you need to do some homework to be able to tell them will be well taken by the students themselves. So let us appreciate that. And the second thing is that respect. For example, when they come to the classroom, they should be addressed in a very polite manner, respectable manner. When they come to our room or teacher's room, they can be asked to sit, take a seat, and sit and talk everywhere. For example, you use their wonderful names they have instead of a singular expression, or so respectable words. जैसे मैंने देखा है उत्तर भारत में छोटे बच्चों को भी दादा दादी नाता नाती कहते हैं, आप कैसे हैं, आप बैठिए, आप एक काम कीजिए. So that respect is very essential in conversation and important. So second is that try to involve them in everything and give them opportunity to explore their internal capacity. He may not be good in studies, but if you give them that inclusion opportunity, they might even flourish in arts, sports, extracurricular activities. We do not know. We have several examples. For example, we have Dhoni, or cricketer, Sachin Tendulkar. We have. And even in also in other fields now, for example, we have Miss Kaur, captain of a women cricket team in India, from Punjab. So these are all not really highly educated boys and girls, but they're emotionally very intelligent, very strong girls and boys. How did it come? Only through positive stroke, by the parents, by the teachers, by the coaches, by the neighborhood, by everybody in the society in general. So let us cultivate that habit of, including them everywhere. And one thing I have noticed in Gujarat, for example, जहाँ हमारे कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लिविंग चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट बहुत ही बढ़िया सालों बरस से कर रहे हैं, वहाँ जब नवरात्रि आते हैं, गरबा के टाइम आता है, तो गरबा बड़े लोग खेलने से पहले बच्चे लोग तो बहुत इकट्ठा होते हैं और वो लोग पहले शुरू करते हैं और बड़े लोग कहते हैं उनको खेलने दो। कब तक खेलेगा वो बच्चे? 10 बजे तक, 11 बजे तक खेल कर थक जाएगा। बाद में बड़े लोग मैदान में उतरते हैं, क्योंकि बच्चों को भी फीलिंग आता है कि हाँ भाई उनको मौका दिया गया है, और बच्चे भी बड़े लोग भी मानते हैं पहले बच्चों को मौका देना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमारे भविष्य की प्रतिनिधि है। तो ये अच्छा सोच है। तो ऐसा हम बच्चों को भी इज्जत देना, इन्वॉल्वमेंट देना, इंक्लूजन देना, ये बहुत ही ज़रूरी बात होती है। और कभी कभी इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस के जो भी इश्यूज है उसको बच्चों के साथ डिस्कस करना अच्छा है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वाई डू पीपल गेट एंगर? वाई डू पीपल इमोशनली रिएक्ट? वाई डू पीपल गेट tantrums? Why do people misbehave? Why do children feel lonely? Instead of all the other topics, why can't you put this in the classroom itself? You ask them to speak on contemporary topics, many things which they are not really concerned about. So why don't you also give a topic like why children are spending so much time lonely? What is the impact of digital era on children? What kind of relationship make healthier and safe in the family? Those things can be designed and offered to the students to participate in debates and talk about. That's one thing. Second is, when we get time, when you observe any misbehavior or any emotional imbalance among the children, we can invite them one-to-one discussion in private. A kind of counseling session can happen between the teachers and students. So listen to them out and then try to offer them a platform to find solutions for themselves. We are not here to give them the solutions. They themselves should find solutions by thinking about it, by finding solutions to the problem they are encountering. That becomes a permanent tool for them to deal with the situation that they come across in future. So that's my humble experience as a teacher of emotional intelligence all through. Now, a very important thing I want to tell you that support system has to be created everywhere, in the school, in the home, the environment, surroundings. So wherever children approach, they should be treated with respect, on priority, with empathy, and with, with all sensitivity. Then they themselves will understand all these things and they reciprocate those things when they go to other environments, other families, other situations. For example, today if you look at the mobile system that they are using, parents watch mobile, grandparents watch mobile, children watch mobile. They don't communicate with each other. And on the contrary, elders say, no, children are not empathetic. Are you really empathetic to them? Why don't you put your mobile away from them and talk to them when they come back from the school, when they come back from the play, when they come back from the, their evening activities. So spend some time with them, listen to them. What happened today? How did you spend your time today? And anything interesting you want to share with us? How can I help you if you need any help? If you have thought about my help, I am happy. Shall we read something together? Shall we listen something together? Shall we talk something together? Shall we do something together? Those are simple gestures, but there are noble gestures which build togetherness and also better understanding and safer environments and secured emotional zones among the parents, teachers, elders and the neighbors. Now, if you look at other aspects of activities that we can do daily to improve the emotional intelligence, I think it may not be something new that I am talking to you, but small general things. For example, even the family, when we meet at the dining table और हम जो मिलते हैं आपस में इकट्ठा होते हैं, you can ask them to talk about how do we make our home lively with the engagement of children. Yes, they have a lot of suggestions. They might even say, well, we should watch movies that we watch. You come to movie which we would like to take you. Do shopping for us, with us, and for by our choice. Nothing wrong about it. So that's what nothing is not engaging them in what they want us to get engaged. Now, very important thing is gratitude sharing. Be thankful to everything that you get from the children, and that will make them realize that they should remain grateful or express gratitude. Gratitude is an attitude. Suppose if you thank your child for whatever little help he does, he feels elated, he feels excited, he feels contented, he feels grateful. So next time, whatever you do as a parent or teacher, you would come and express the same thing. So it gets multiplied. It spreads like wildfire. It should become a norm to be sharing gratitude. So that is an excellent quality, virtue that all of us can build together in the children. Now, for example, if you look at our country, in 1947, our population was 35 crores. Today we are 140 crores. In those days, there were only 12 major newspapers and less communication, less infrastructure, less road network, no TV, nothing. But still, those 35 crore people were aware of Ramayana, Mahabharata, or our Vedas, our Itihas. How was it possible? Because our grandparents, grandparents have developed the art of storytelling in a realistic manner, in a very exciting manner, in a very futuristic manner. That tradition has come down from generations to generation. Though we were illiterates in those days, today we are moderately literate. That storytelling has empowered all of us. दादी माँ का स्टोरी, ग्रैंडफादर का स्टोरी, मम्मी का स्टोरी, पापा का स्टोरी बहुत यादगार है, मधुर है, चिरस्मरणीय है, हम भूलते नहीं. तो why can't we encourage our children to get into the storytelling? It could be absolutely well read, realistic, well conceived and well presented. So that storytelling has to become a contagious exercise. So that will help our children to get that emotional intelligence every day. And communication as elders, be polite, soft, good language, good mannerism, encourage. So now, looking to the overall, needs of the children on daily basis, we can take up these activities. Most importantly, don't forget to use empathy. I don't want to share what I want to share, but I would like to share what my child needs. So, मेरे को ये करना है जो मैं बच्चा चाहते हैं, वही उनका दृष्टि से हम देखना चाहते हैं, ताकि हमारा जो सपोर्ट है उनको बहुत मदद करे. So let us not be one-sided. Let us think from their perspective. That is real empathy we should cultivate among the children. So, and very important thing is that they get lot of problems everywhere, and small tips can be given to them to solve them, instead of making them very big issues and out of proportions. So that has to be done in a very systematic manner, simple manner, in a very, very scientific manner as we go along with the children. Now, what happens is that whenever there is observation that children are undergoing high level of emotional imbalance, what probably we can do is that we should avoid the cycles of the emotional imbalance, like creating a lot of fear. Why they are really fearful about it, that we need to dig into and find solutions to that, number one. And don't resort to suppression of emotional feelings. जो भी उनको बताना चाहते हैं, शेयर करना चाहते हैं, करने दीजिए ना, क्या दिक्कत है. आपको खाली सुनना है और बाद में उनको थोड़ा मदद करना है. और कंपैरिजन तो मत कीजिए. हर एक आदमी नरेंद्र मोदी जी नहीं बन सकता है, हर एक आदमी सचिन तेंदुलकर नहीं बन सकता है, हर एक आदमी हमारे क्या बोलते हैं साराभाई नहीं बन सकता है, विक्रम साराभाई नहीं बन सकता है, विलियम्स नहीं बन सकता है. तो वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड द लिमिटेशंस ऑफ ईच एंड एवरी इंडिविजुअल and what we call a SWOT analysis. Everybody has to be very aware of the SWOT analysis of each child to give support. And second is, we should not subject children to emotional neglect. अगर आपको समय नहीं है तो why are you taking the responsibility? Why did you? So we should always try to give that required attention to the children, for healthier children. Okay. Now, before I would like to conclude. What I would like to tell you is that if you want to make better children, strong children, maybe at the cost of repetition, I would like to tell you few mantras, I can say, or we can say pandas. One is बढ़िया सा कम्युनिकेशन दोनों के बीच में रखना जरूरी है. यू शुड हैव वेरी गुड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स. सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस को बढ़ाना है और एक तो हेल्दी रिलेशनशिप्स पैदा करने के लिए और वृद्धि करने के लिए हम स्वयं प्रयत्न करना है. और दिस देन वी शुड हैव दैट रेजिलियंस कैपेसिटी अमंग द चिल्ड्रन. प्रॉब्लम्स आते रहते हैं और उससे ढीला पड़ना जरूरी नहीं है. नाराज़ नहीं होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. अभी नहीं तो दूसरा नेक्स्ट टाइम. फेल्यूर्स आर स्टेपिंग स्टोन्स फॉर सक्सेस जैसे कहते हैं, तो वो ढंग से हम चल सकते हैं. और नेक्स्ट इज़ एवरीवेयर, एट एवरी प्लेस वी नीड टू क्रिएट दैट emotional positive environment for children to emulate and experience and get exposure. And most importantly, safety, security of the children is very important. Physical security, psychological security. and economic security which we can provide. So that gives them stronger childhood so that they can flourish with a strong emotional intelligence. So I think emotional intelligence is the fundamental right of the child. मुझे स्ट्रांग रहना चाहिए और स्ट्रांग रहने के लिए मदद करना आपका जिम्मेदारी होता है और वो मदद को प्राप्त करना मेरा हक बनती है. So let us treat that way that we should give opportunities for children to explore the emotional intelligence path in a very sound manner, strong manner and superb manner, so that अपना भारत और आने वाले दिनों में हम अमृत काल मना रहे हैं. तो by 2045 we should have children with lesser problems and higher emotional intelligence, balanced intelligence, ताकि हमारा सोसाइटी हेल्दी सोसाइटी बने. और अभी भी हम बहुत अच्छा सोसाइटी मान के चल सकते हैं, क्योंकि लाखों जहाँ जनता है वहाँ लड़ाई होता है. हम करोड़ों लोग भी हैं, फिर भी हम स्नेहशील बनकर रहते हैं. यही हमारा इतिहास की और अपना सनातन धर्म की शक्ति है. उसको ज़िंदा रखना है तो हम थोड़ा मॉडरेट थिंकिंग लाना है, और डिजिटल एरा का इन्फ्लुएंस क्या है जानना ज़रूरी है. और साथ ही साथ हमको एक नया कदम उठाना पड़ता है कॉन्शियसली. I want to work for emotional intelligence of the children. I want to become emotional intelligence expert and social activist, so that wherever I find any imbalance in the emotional intelligence of the children, particular spectrum, so that my contribution becomes a force to reckon with the life of the children. That's the wonderful thing I can do, and I would like to thank all of you for listening to me very carefully. And if there are any questions, you are most welcome to ask. And मैं जैसे बताया शुरुआत में, I am Kamala Manohar Swamy, और आपकी इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस की मित्र हूँ, फैसिलिटेटर हूँ, एम्बेसडर हूँ, और साथ ही साथ जहाँ भी अच्छा काम करने का मौका मिलता है मैं एक्टिविस्ट के नाते आपका सहारा दे दूँगा. आप हमको सपोर्ट कीजिए और अंत में बच्चों की उन्नति के लिए, बहुत ही अच्छा स्थिति के लिए हम प्रयास करें. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर वंडरफुल सपोर्ट. थैंक यू.